Hello, students. This is Dr. Fryer, and today is Wednesday, October the 8th, 2025, and I'm excited to introduce to you your spooky scratch story assignment. It is wonderful you're taking this class in the fall because I don't do this in the spring because we don't have Halloween in the spring, but we do in October, and so here we are for the scratch story. So I have created a little infographic that kind of summarizes the main points for this. I want you to have fun with. I hope that you'll have fun with this. You'll use some creative images and icons. Be original. You're going to be spinning a wheel to get elements for your story, and then you're going to create a scratch project. And so let me just show you some example projects first. So under steps, number one, it says check out some of the past stories. So these are all projects which are remixes of a template. It's the advantage of doing a remix. So this is kind of important. You're going to start with this spooky scratch story template, and I want you to actually click remix so that you'll be able to make your project. When you do that, they're going to show up as remixes, and it's just kind of a cool way to organize these. So it doesn't really matter, I guess, which one we're going to do here. I'll just click on this first one. And then notice that the student has copied what they obtained from the spinner, and this is the prompt for the story. So they spun the spinner, which I'll show you here in a second, and they got black confused cat, earthquake, and forgot to say sorry. So their story has to include those three elements. So let's go full screen here and play it.
Oh no, I have to say sorry.
Okay, and so that's all they did. I don't know how spooky that is, but they did include the graphics, the animation, and of course we can see inside to see the blocks that they used. And they actually used some interesting blocks. They used some random blocks there, and it's okay. Let's take a look at another one. So I'm going to go to this one, and in the credits, they didn't include their story elements here, so they should have. They do include instructions, and they gave some credits for their sprites, but they didn't. They just linked the wheel. They didn't include what they actually got in here. Okay, let's take a look at this.
Wahaha. Wahaha.
Okay, so a little bit of audio in that one. You can see that they used a technique with their project where they basically waited a set amount of time for their different sprites to do things back and forth. So anyway, it's okay. That was an okay project. Let's try this one. Okay. Well, I'm not going to play this one because guess what? They didn't erase the instructions, and they didn't put the things that they had spun on there. Let's try Alexa's here. Okay, great. So on this one, she gives the instructions, click the green flag, and then here's the plot. An impatient queen before the royal banquet lost her magic wand. All right, here we go.
I'm so excited for the royal banquet.
Good morning, Your Majesty. The royal banquet will be a ball.
Agreed. All I need now is my magic wand. My magic wand?
I don't have it, Your Majesty.
What do you mean you don't have it? Get out of my sight!
Yes, Your Majesty. I'm sorry.
I really need to get a new servant. Well, I guess I should look for my magic wand. I need to use the magic to get these decorations set up, and fast. The party starts in 30 minutes. I don't see it at the entrance.
Your time has come, princess.
path either. I don't think it's on Royal Mountain. Not in the ocean? Why the heck am I in the ocean? Of course, I left my wand in the ginormous magic forest while I was berry picking. That's strange.
Okay. This is a great project. Okay. So, again, we can see inside, and you can see all the different code blocks that Alexa used. And this is a sophisticated project, right? A lot going on. So let's take a look at the requirements. The requirements in terms of the specific blocks to use. It says that you need to use multiple sprites. Okay, you need to use speech bubbles, so you're going to have sprites talking. You need to use some recorded sounds and some time delays. You're going to use go to XY blocks. And remember, if you move the sprite and then drag it out, it picks up the XY of wherever you've moved the sprite. You're going to use glide blocks. You're going to hide and show stuff, and you're going to change your backgrounds. All right. So that really was a great example. So you're going to remix the Scratch project that I provided, and then you're going to spin this wheel to spin a spooky story. So let me show you that. Here's the wheel that you're going to spin. There's three things. There's the character, the setting, and the plot. And so just click this button right here that says spin the wheel, and you're going to get all three of your items. Now, if you really don't like what you get, you can spin again. But I'd really like you to try to make a story based on three things that you get from a spinner. It's just part of the creative challenge. So this result is a former vampire, before the fancy party begins, stepped out of a time machine. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and copy this. So Command C, or I can right click copy, and I'm going to go ahead and go over here. And now I need to remix this project. So here is the project that is the template, and you don't see the remix until you actually sign in. And let me pause for a second so I can sign in. Okay, so I'm signed in actually with another account because you can't really remix your own project. And so I'm going to click the green button. This is super important. You have to remix this project in order for to get full points. There's a way, if you start it originally, you can replace it. But just please click on remix. All right, and so here we are. We can go to the project page, and the first thing you can do is these instructions are here, but you can just delete these instructions. So Command A, select all, and then you can paste in your story elements. These are my story elements. Okay, and a former vampire before the fancy party begins stepped out of a time machine. Okay, you've got to have that. And I'll just go ahead and click share, and I'll call myself Claude. Here's Claude's spooky story. Okay, or I could say this is a former vampire speaks, whatever. All right, so now we can go see inside, and you've got a little note here talking about a completed project that you can go see. And then for backdrops, this is just really a credit backdrop. So you can delete that backdrop. I guess I have to have at least one backdrop. And then you can decide, where you want to be, where are you going to position yourself. Are you going to be in the city? Are you going to, it's wherever you want to be. And then it says here, we spun the wheel, we put on our credits. Check out the spooky sprites on our Sprites for Scratch webpage. So check this out. Those are rocket ones, but here are a bunch of spooky sprites, and you can import these, like the Grim Reaper. You can do that by right-clicking and choosing Save Image, and I would give it a name instead of just Untitled. And then you can go ahead and bring in that sprite by clicking here to importing your sprite, and then you can bring that in. So now I've got this Grim Reaper, and I can use that character, and I can set his side. Okay, so that's basically it. That is the Spooky Scratch story. You can take a look at some other example projects. I've actually got that link to that last one I showed Alexa's right there, which is awesome. There's some other ones that we've done. But have fun with this. You're going to turn in the link. And again, in your description of your project, please don't forget, paste in whatever you spin as your story elements, and have fun, okay? Again, it's going to be awesome because when you remix it, you're going to be able to be giving credit here to the Spooky Scratch Story template, and then your project is going to show up here under the remixes with everybody else's. All right? Good luck. Have fun.